Have you ever had that strange feeling that your pet who passed away is still around? That moment when you feel as if they are right there, by your side, even though you know it's impossible? If you're watching this video, you've probably experienced it. And you're not alone. Millions of people around the world live through this same mystery. The truth is that something much greater is happening here, something traditional science simply cannot explain, but that the deepest spiritual revelations uncovered decades ago. Think for a moment. Why does losing a pet hurt so much? Why does it feel like a part of our soul left with them? The answer lies in the unique nature of the bond we establish with them. Unlike any other human relationship, our connection with pets is pure, unconditional, and free of judgment. They love us for who we are without masks, without pretenses. This purity of love creates energetic bridges that transcend physical death. When you look into your dog's eyes and feel that deep connection, when your cat purrs in your lap and you feel absolute peace, a soul-to-soul communication is happening. A universal language that needs no words, that goes beyond the physical body. Materialistic science tries to explain all of this as mere conditioned reflexes, chemical reactions in the brain, evolutionary instincts. But how to explain cases where people instantly recognize their pets reincarnated in new bodies? How to explain physical manifestations happening in homes where beloved animals have died? How to explain the surgical precision of identical behaviors in completely different animals? The oldest spiritual revelations of humanity always knew this. Indigenous cultures, Eastern traditions, mystics from every era speak of the continuity of the animal soul. But it was Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, who brought the most detailed and precise revelations about what really happens to our pets after death. The mystery you feel in your heart when you think of your departed pet is not imagination. It's real. It's a door to understanding truths about life, death, and the continuity of consciousness that can completely transform your perspective on existence. To understand how pets can return after death, we first need to understand the special nature of the bond we create with them. This is not an ordinary connection, it's one of the purest forms of love that exist in this physical plane. When you come home after a hard day and your dog runs to you with explosive joy, as if you were the most important person in the universe, something magical is happening. It's not just conditioned behavior. It's one soul recognizing another, one vibrational frequency aligning with another. Cayce's revelations were crystal clear on this. Animals have souls, but a soul different from the human one. The human soul is individual, carrying specific karmas, personal lessons, a complex evolutionary journey. The animal soul, however, is collective, purer, directly connected to universal love. They are, in Cayce's words, messengers of divine love, sent to teach us about surrender, loyalty, and unconditional love. This difference in the nature of the soul is exactly what makes the connection so special. While we humans build relationships full of layers, expectations, judgments, fears, social masks, animals connect with us on the highest possible frequency, pure love. They don't care about our appearance, our social status, our past mistakes. They simply love. And here lies the secret few understand. When two souls connect on this frequency of pure love, they create what mystics call a karmic bond, not in the sense of debt, but in the sense of spiritual commitment. It's as if souls made a pact even before meeting in the physical plane. I will love you unconditionally, and you will learn through this love. Modern science is beginning to discover what spiritual masters have always known. Studies show that when we pet our animals, our body releases oxytocin, the same hormone of maternal love. Our heartbeat synchronizes with theirs. Our brain waves come into coherence. We are literally vibrating on the same frequency. But it goes beyond chemistry. Documented cases show impressive telepathy between pets and their owners. Dogs that know exactly when their owners are coming home, even at irregular times. Cats that disappear hours before being taken to the vet, even without any physical sign of what's to come. Birds that repeat words their owners thought but never spoke aloud. Cayce explained that animals naturally live in what he called an elevated state of consciousness. They don't have the ego blocking their intuition the way we do. That's why they can sense our emotional states even before we recognize them ourselves. How many times has your pet come to comfort you exactly when you needed it most, even when you tried to hide your sadness? This intuitive ability of animals creates an energetic bridge between you. It's as if you both share a common energy field. When you're happy, they feel it and vibrate in that joy. When you're sad, they absorb that energy and try to transform it through love. It's a system of communication that works beyond words, beyond logic, even beyond physical presence. And here we reach the crucial point. If this connection is energetic, vibrational, based on pure love, and not limited by physical laws when they are alive, why would it be different when they die? Energy is not destroyed, it transforms. Love does not disappear with the death of the physical body. In fact, many people report that the connection with their pets becomes even more intense after death. Without the limitations of the physical body, these pure souls can communicate with us in ways we never imagined possible. They may appear in dreams with specific messages, manifest physical presences, or even influence other animals to bring us comfort. Your pet's soul does not disappear when the body dies. It remains connected to you through that bridge of pure love you built together. And in the next revelations, you will discover exactly how this soul manifests, the 3 specific ways in which they return, and how you can recognize these signs in your own life. Now, we arrive at the heart of the most impactful revelations about the return of our pets. Based on decades of psychic readings and thousands of documented cases, there are 3 main ways in which pets return to our lives. Each of these ways follows specific spiritual laws that you need to know in order to recognize when it is happening to you. First way, direct reincarnation. This is the most common and perhaps the most exciting form. It happens when your pet's soul chooses to return in a similar physical body, retaining striking characteristics of the previous personality. We are not talking about simple similarities. We are talking about identical behaviors, specific preferences, and even physical marks that repeat in ways impossible to dismiss as mere coincidence. Cayce explained that when an animal creates a very strong bond with a family, its soul may choose to reincarnate quickly to continue offering love and protection. The time between death and return varies, usually happening between 6 months and 3 years. During this period, the soul stays close to the family, carefully choosing the circumstances of its return. Second way, spiritual manifestations. When the pet's soul does not choose to reincarnate immediately, it may choose to remain nearby in spiritual form. These manifestations are more subtle, but no less real. They include physical presences you can feel, familiar sounds, moving objects, and even visual apparitions. These manifestations follow a specific pattern. They usually happen in the first months after death, especially in places where the animal used to stay. The soul is trying to comfort the family and show that it is still around. They are not ghosts in the haunted sense of the word. They are visits of love. Third way, signs and synchronicities. This is the most subtle form, but also the most magical. The soul of the pet orchestrates events and situations to send specific messages to the family. It could be other animals that appear at significant moments, objects that show up in impossible places, or sequences of events carrying the pet's energetic DNA. Cayce taught that animal souls are masters at manipulating subtle energy to create synchronicities. They work through what Jung called the collective unconscious, influencing seemingly casual events to transmit messages of love and protection. Before we continue, if you feel it's time to raise your consciousness and start manifesting the reality you truly desire, I invite you to join the Quantum Thinking Challenge. In 21 days, you will reprogram your mind, raise your vibration, and unleash your full energetic potential. I've already received inspiring messages from people experiencing extraordinary results. And do you want to be the next one? Click the link in the first pinned comment. How can I be sure my pet really returned? The truth is that there are specific signs, spiritual markers that never lie when it comes to the return of a beloved animal soul. These signs are not coincidences. They are deliberate manifestations of your pet's soul trying to communicate with you, showing that the bond of love between you remains intact. Instant recognition. When your pet's soul reincarnates or manifests through another animal, something happens that defies all logic. An instant mutual recognition. You feel in your soul that it's them, and the animal shows they know you in a way impossible for a first encounter. This recognition goes beyond physical appearance. It's an energetic connection, a vibration you feel in your chest, a certainty that comes from a part of you that needs no logical explanation. Trust that feeling. Your soul recognizes what your mind may doubt. Identical, unique behaviors. Every animal has what I call unique behaviors, little rituals, special mannerisms that only your pet did in a specific way. When a pet returns, these behaviors manifest identically in the new body. Pay close attention. How did your pet walk? What was their favorite sleeping position? What little rituals did they have throughout the day? When you see those exact same patterns in a new animal, you are witnessing a soul expressing itself through a new body. Unexplainable knowledge. Perhaps the most convincing sign is when a new animal shows knowledge that is impossible for it to have. Knowledge about your home, your routines, hidden objects, or even family members it has never met before. Watch closely for these moments. Does the new pet know where you keep the treats? Do they go to spots only your previous pet used to rest in? Do they seem familiar with your house layout without any adaptation period? Specific emotional reactions. Pets that return often maintain emotional connections not only with you, but with other family members, other pets, or even specific objects that were meaningful in their previous life. These emotional patterns are deeply rooted in the soul. They transcend physical death because they are based on connections of love that exist on a spiritual level. Perfect timing synchronicities. The universe has perfect timing when it comes to the return of pets. These souls often come back exactly when you need comfort the most, or on significant dates that carry special meaning. Pay attention to timing. Often, pets return on anniversaries, birthdays, or at moments when you are intensely thinking about your beloved animal. Now, I want you to reflect on your own experience. Have you noticed any of these signs? Have you had encounters with animals that made your heart race? Leave a comment below and tell me about any unusual encounters with animals you've had since losing your pet. Sometimes, sharing these experiences helps us recognize patterns we might have dismissed as coincidence. Remember, your pet's love for you does not end with physical death. These signs are their way of letting you know that the bond you shared transcends any physical limitation. Trust your intuition, open your heart, and prepare yourself to recognize these sacred messages when they appear in your life. To fully understand how pets return, we need to uncover what really happens in the moments after physical death. The revelations about this journey of the animal soul are both comforting and transformative, showing that death is not an end, but a transition into a different form of existence. According to the most detailed psychic readings on the subject, at the moment of physical death, the animal's soul goes through a process very similar to what we experience when waking up from a deep dream. There is a moment of confusion, followed by a gradual awareness that something fundamental has changed. But unlike humans, who can get trapped in fears or regrets, animal souls make this transition with incredible ease. In the first moments after leaving the physical body, your pet's soul remains exactly where it was, by your side. They may see you crying, feel your pain, and often try to comfort you in the only way they can in this new state, through subtle presences, energetic touches, or small physical signs. During this initial period, which can last from a few days to a few weeks, the animal's soul is learning how to navigate its new form of existence. They discover that they can move instantly through thought, that they no longer feel physical pain, and that they can perceive human emotions much more clearly than when they were in the body. After this adaptation period, the animal soul is gently guided to what we may call the spiritual plane of animals. It is not a physical place, as we imagine, but a state of consciousness where all animal souls that shared love with humans gather. In this plane, they experience something that can only be described as pure and unconditional love, multiplied infinitely. Any pain, fear, or trauma they may have experienced is instantly healed. They become perfect, radiant versions of themselves, young, healthy, and overflowing with loving energy. But here is the most beautiful aspect. They do not forget you. In fact, the loving bond you shared becomes even stronger without the limitations of the physical body. They can feel your thoughts about them, your longing, your tears, and they constantly send waves of love and comfort in your direction. Something extraordinary happens in this plane. The souls of animals organize themselves into groups based on the love they shared with their human families. They form spiritual councils, where they collectively decide how best to help and protect the ones they loved on Earth. It is within this council that your pet's soul decides whether to reincarnate quickly to return to you, to remain as a spiritual guide, or to work through synchronicities to continue showing their love. This decision is based purely on what will best serve your spiritual growth and emotional well-being. The concept of time in the spiritual plane is completely different from ours. For your pet's soul, 1 year on Earth may feel like only a few moments, or a few earthly minutes may stretch into eternities of spiritual experience. This explains why some pets return quickly, within months, while others take years. During this spiritual period, they also have the opportunity to heal any trauma or pain they may have carried. Animals that suffered abuse, abandonment, or painful illnesses go through a deep healing process that restores them to the original purity of their souls. When an animal's soul decides to return through reincarnation, a fascinating process begins. They start to energetically scan your life, looking for the perfect moment and circumstances for their return. They influence events, guide people, and orchestrate synchronicities to ensure the reunion happens in the most meaningful way possible. It's important to understand that not all pets choose to reincarnate. Some choose to remain as spiritual guides, constantly working behind the scenes to protect and guide their human families. Others may choose to reincarnate in situations where they can help different people who need their special care. This choice is never about love. A pet that does not reincarnate loves you just as much as one that does return. It's a matter of spiritual purpose and what best serves the growth of all the souls involved. Even while in the spiritual plane, your pet continues sending signs that they are well and still caring for you. It could be vivid dreams where they appear young and healthy, feathers or objects showing up in meaningful places, or simply that comforting sense of presence you feel in difficult moments. The spiritual journey of our pets after death is one of the most beautiful manifestations of unconditional love. They don't just survive death, they thrive in a state of pure love, always connected to us, always working for our well-being, whether through physical return or spiritual protection. Now we arrive at the moment that can change your life forever. How to recognize, with absolute certainty, when your beloved pet has returned in a new body. This recognition goes far beyond physical similarities or general behaviors. There are specific markers, practical tests, and undeniable signs that reveal the true identity of the soul. The recognition of a reincarnated pet is a process that involves 3 levels. Intuitive recognition, which happens instantly. Behavioral confirmation, which develops in the first days. And validation through specific memories, which may take weeks to fully manifest. The first look test. This is the most powerful and definitive moment. When you look into an animal's eyes and feel that electric connection, that recognition coming from the depths of your soul, pay full attention. Don't ignore this feeling because it seems impossible or irrational. Your soul is recognizing a familiar soul. During this first encounter, also observe the animal's reaction. Reincarnated pets often show immediate familiarity that is impossible in a normal first meeting. They may run directly to you, ignoring other people, or show a level of comfort and trust that would normally take weeks to develop. The secret commands tests. Every pet owner has commands, words, or gestures that only their animal knew. These are the most precise tests to confirm a reincarnation. But be careful. Do these tests naturally, without pressure. allowing the soul's memories to manifest spontaneously. Make a mental list of the unique commands, special gestures, or rituals that only the two of you shared. Test these commands after a few days of living together, when the animal has already adapted to the environment. Remember, don't force responses. Just observe if they come naturally. Recognition of personal objects. Reincarnated pets often show immediate recognition of objects that belong to their previous life. Favorite toys, blankets, even an old collar can trigger strong emotional reactions. Test this carefully. Place some of your previous pet's objects in neutral spots and observe how the new animal reacts. Reincarnated pets may sniff these objects intensely, lie down on them right away, or even carry them to specific places where they used to stay. The sacred places test. Every pet has special spots in the house where they like to be. It could be certain corners to sleep in, favorite windows to watch the street from, or secret hiding places. A reincarnated pet will naturally go to these locations, even if they have never been in the house before. Watch where the new animal chooses to rest in the first days. Do they go to the same corner where your previous pet slept? Do they choose the same window to look outside? Do they find hiding places only your previous pet knew? Reactions to specific people. Reincarnated pets keep their preferences and aversions toward specific people. If your previous pet had a special affection for someone in the family or avoided a certain person, those emotional reactions will appear in the new body. Recognition of family routines. Reincarnated pets often resume specific routines they had in their previous life, without any training or guidance. They may go to the door at the same time they used to wait for someone to arrive, or position themselves for meals in the same places and times. Signs during sleep and dreams. Observe the new pet's behavior during sleep. Reincarnated pets often dream about memories from their previous life, making movements, sounds, or showing emotional reactions that reflect past experiences. In addition, you yourself may begin to have vivid dreams where your previous pet introduces the new animal, spiritually confirming that they are the same soul. The time for complete recognition. Be patient with this process. Some confirmations come immediately, while others may take weeks or even months to manifest. The soul needs time to adapt to the new body and recover all emotional memories. Keep a journal of these signs. Write down coincidences, unique behaviors, special reactions. Over time, you will have a body of evidence that will make the recognition undeniable. Most importantly, trust your intuition. Your soul recognizes other souls. When all the signs align, when your heart knows for sure, don't let rational logic sabotage this sacred connection. The love between you and your pet transcended death once. It can transcend as many times as needed. This is a painful question that haunts many hearts. Why didn't my pet come back? If you are asking yourself this, first I want you to know it does not mean your animal loved you less, or that you didn't share a special connection. In fact, sometimes the greatest act of love is choosing not to return physically. There are 3 fundamental spiritual reasons why some pets do not return through reincarnation, and understanding these reasons can transform your pain into deep gratitude for the gift that animal brought into your life. First reason, the mission was complete. Some pets come into our lives with very specific spiritual missions: to teach us about unconditional love, help us through a difficult time, show us how to be more compassionate, or simply give us joy during a particular period of our lives. When that mission is complete, the animal's soul may choose to move on to other planes of existence, where it can continue evolving spiritually. They fulfilled their purpose with us perfectly and are now ready for new journeys. These pets do not return because their mission was accomplished with mastery. They gave us exactly what we needed at the right time, and now they move on to help other souls who need their special gifts. Second reason, they became your spiritual guides. Some pets choose not to reincarnate because they can serve us better by remaining in the spiritual plane as our guides and protectors. In this form, they have much greater powers to help us. They can protect us from danger, guide us toward opportunities, and comfort us in difficult times. An animal spiritual guide is like having a four-legged guardian angel. They can influence events, send other animals our way when we need them, and even protect us from accidents or dangerous situations. Third reason, they are preparing the path for your own spiritual evolution. This is the deepest and most transformative reason. Some pets do not return because their departure is part of a greater plan for our spiritual growth. They know that the experience of loss, when processed with love and understanding, will open us to spiritual truths we could not have reached otherwise. The pain of losing a beloved pet can be the gateway to understanding profound truths about life, death, the continuity of consciousness, and the eternal nature of love. Some pets make the ultimate sacrifice of not returning physically in order to push us to seek that wisdom. How can you know if your pet consciously chose not to return? There are a few revealing signs. Farewell dreams. You have dreams where your pet clearly appears to say goodbye, showing themselves at peace and indicating they are moving on. In these dreams, there is a sense of finality, not of see you soon, but of mission accomplished. Sense of completion. Instead of feeling like something was left unfinished, you gradually develop a sense that the journey with that animal was perfect as it was. There is gratitude for the experience shared, but also acceptance that this chapter has closed, guidance toward new paths. You find yourself being led to new spiritual interests, new ways to help other animals, or new understandings about life that you would never have developed if your pet were still here. If you recognize that your pet chose not to return, the process of acceptance can be challenging, but also deeply liberating. Here are practical steps to find peace. Honor their decision. Acknowledge that not returning may be the greatest act of love your pet could offer. They are trusting that you are strong enough to grow through this experience. Seek the gift within the pain. Ask yourself, what lessons is this experience teaching me? How can I honor my pet's memory by using these lessons to help others? Create a living legacy. Many people find peace by transforming their pain into positive action, helping other animals, volunteering at shelters, or simply being more compassionate with all living beings. Communicate. Anyway, keep practicing the technique of spiritual communication. Even if they do not return physically, they can still communicate with us and send us love and guidance. The deepest truth about pets that do not return is that they never really leave us. The love we shared does not need a physical body to continue existing. That love becomes part of who we are, shaping how we treat other animals, and forever connecting us with the essence of that special soul. Not returning physically does not mean abandonment. It means trust. Trust that the love they planted in your heart is strong enough to keep growing and spreading, touching other lives, creating waves of compassion that extend far beyond what any physical presence could ever reach. Your pet may not have returned in body, but they have returned in every act of kindness you offer to other animals, in every moment of gratitude for the experience you shared, and in every time your heart opens with unconditional love, exactly as they taught us to do. We have arrived at the most transformative moment of this journey. Everything we've uncovered so far, the unmistakable signs, the forms of return, the techniques of connection, has a greater purpose: to transform the pain of loss into a force of love that transcends death and becomes an inexhaustible source of hope and purpose. The most powerful truth I can share with you is this: the pain you feel from losing your pet is not just grief, it is love in its most concentrated form. And that love has the power to create miracles, not only in your life, but in the lives of countless other beings yet to come. When we understand that our pets can return, that the connection remains alive, and that even those who choose not to return continue guiding us spiritually, something magical happens. Pain transforms into active gratitude. It's not that longing disappears, it's that it gains a sacred purpose. Every tear you've shed for the loss of your four-legged companion was an offering of pure love. That love was not lost in the universe. It multiplied and expanded, creating energetic waves that continue touching other lives in ways you cannot even imagine. While you wait for your pet's return, whether through reincarnation, spiritual signs, or divine synchronicities, there is fundamental inner work you can do. It's not about simply waiting, but about becoming the kind of person who can recognize and receive these sacred gifts when they arrive. Instead of focusing on what you lost, focus on the gift you were given. Your pet was not taken from you. They were lent by the universe so that you could share an experience of pure love. Every day you live together was a miracle that many beings in this world will never experience. Create a daily ritual of gratitude specifically for your pet. Every morning when you wake up, give thanks for 3 specific memories you created together. Not generic memories, but unique moments. That day they comforted you when you were crying. That time they did something so funny you laughed until you cried. That special look only they knew how to give you. Your pet will not return only to you, they can return through you. When you become an active channel of love and protection for other animals, you are creating the perfect energetic conditions for miracles to happen. This doesn't mean you need to adopt dozens of animals or become a professional activist. It simply means opening your heart to opportunities to help when they arise. It might be feeding a stray cat, helping a neighbor find their lost pet, or simply treating every animal you encounter with the same love you had for yours. Your pet may be trying to communicate with you in subtle ways that your rational mind is ignoring. Developing your intuition is essential to receive these sacred messages. Start paying attention to the coincidences that happen when you're thinking about your pet. That song that played on the radio at the exact moment you remembered them. That animal that crossed your path when you needed comfort the most. These are not accidents. They are love letters sent from beyond. Keep a journal of these synchronicities. Write down the date, what you were feeling, what happened. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns, messages, a constant communication that has always been there, just waiting for you to notice. Every pet we love leaves us with a sacred mission, to spread the kind of unconditional love they taught us. This is the most powerful way to honor their memory and create the conditions for their return. Look around you. How many people do you know who are grieving the loss of their pets? How many animals in your community need help? How many opportunities exist for you to be an instrument of the love your pet planted in your heart? This is not just a nice suggestion, it is a spiritual law. The more you spread the love you received from your pet, the more you align with the energetic frequency where they exist now. And at that frequency, miracles don't just might times happen, they happen constantly. When you're living in alignment with this sacred mission, specific signs begin to appear in your life. Unexplainable. Peace. The sharp pain of loss transforms into a sweet longing, accompanied by a deep certainty that all is well. Increased synchronicities. You start noticing coincidences related to animals much more often. Other animals seek you out. Other people's pets feel drawn to you. Stray animals approach you more easily. It's as if they sense the loving energy you are radiating. Comforting dreams. You begin to have dreams where your pet appears happy, healthy, sometimes even guiding you to help other animals. What you have discovered in this revelation was not by chance. Your pet, wherever they are now, guided you to these truths because they know you are ready for deep transformation. The life you live from today forward will be different. You are no longer someone who lost a pet. You are someone who was chosen to be the guardian of eternal love. You are no longer someone who waits for signs. You are someone who creates the conditions for miracles to happen. Every animal that crosses your path can be a message from your pet. Every opportunity to help can be a way to honor the sacred memory you built together. Every day can be a new opportunity to live the kind of unconditional love they taught us. Your pet did not die. Your love did not end. The story is not over.